A very good morning to everyone on there this morning, and thank you for tuning to this bulletin on this early summer Sunday morning, the 27th of July 2025. You're listening to the club station of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, which is operated today from the shack of ZS6STN. Once again, a warm welcome to everyone on frequency. This club bulletin is broadcast every Sunday at 8:45 local time on the following frequencies: 145 700 megahertz, 40 meter band, and of course the 7.115 40 meter band, lower side band, today by my shack as well. So in the bulletin today, the club bulletin, club news, ham radio news, and I don't know why this is done this. Special topic of interest. Today, courtesy of Keith, there is a special topic of interest, so thank you very much for that, Keith. Much appreciated. I was looking at something on Voyager, the small size at the end of the day. Look at the birthdays. Now, I've got the birthday list in front of me. So, this past week we had Thea Bresler, 36 Tango Victor Bravo, that was on the 19th. We've had Peter Alstop, 36 Papa Echo, that was the 20th. And tomorrow we've got ZR6 Tango Mike, Timo van der Merwe. And on the 31st we have, and then on the 31st we have ZS6STN Henry, our stalwart friend living in Portugal at the moment. So Henry, yours on the 31st, and then the 1st, of course, is ZS6 Kilo Alpha, Carl Rousseau. So that's the birthdays, guys. Hope you have many, many more, and we wish you all the best for your birthdays. Let's just move on to club news. So I don't know if we should do the club news now. Yeah, let's do the club news now. So let's see if there's anyone out there who would like to add anything for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club news. This is ZS6STN standing by. There you go, Keith. Always fantastic to hear you, and you're always there for some club news. So without further ado, please take a round from ZS6STN.
Thank you very much, Noel. Just to let everybody know what's on the horizon, I think it is in the bulletin, the SARL bulletin as well. But let me just go through this. So yesterday, the 40-meter club contest took place, and I did hear quite a number of Santonites during the 40-meter club contest. So that was pretty awesome. Conditions, from my perspective, were very, very good. And I wasted a bit of time in the beginning, but then towards the end, the contacts were pumping, and everyone was coming through 5.9 crystal clear. So it was the conditions were very, very good for the 40-meter club contest yesterday. Then, as you know, on the previous weekend, the QRP contest took place, so we are busy evaluating all the logs for that, and we have received 23 logbooks for the QRP contest, which is awesome. So the contest team, that is Gerrit, Kevin and myself, are reviewing the logs and making sure that we are appropriate with the certificates. So that should be announced next week if we can get it all concluded before the cut-off date for the next week's news bulletin. And then this coming Wednesday, the 30th of July, is our club meetup at our clubhouse in Bryanston, 11 Kildoon Road, Bryanston. So we would like as many members to participate in the club meet at our clubhouse as possible. And during the club meet, we will also then participate in the Power Hour Tech Talk. And this time it is ZS2 Oscar Kilo that is going to be doing the talk live from Port Elizabeth. And we're going to hear all about VARAC, VAC, which is one of the latest digital modes, and it is keyboard-to-keyboard digital modes with full-on error correction and for low signals as well. So it's a fascinating talk that I think that ZS2OK will have that Alistair ZS2OK has prepared for us. So please join us for the Power Hour Tech Talk this coming Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock, and hopefully at the club meet as well. another incentive to be at the club meet, we will be handing out badges. So all the new amateurs that passed your exams earlier this year, if you haven't got your badge yet, please be at the club meet, because we will have your badges available for you there and anybody else who still needs their badges. So then also just to mention, upcoming on the 3rd of the Sunday, the 3rd of August, is the SARL HF phone contest. So this is the HF contest is one of the premier contests of the SARL calendar, and the first leg is the HF phone contest taking place on 3rd of August, followed by the digital leg, which is taking place on Sunday the 10th of August, and then followed by the CW leg, which is taking place on 24th of August. So if you don't know CW, you can still do CW. Fire up one of the little programs and interface with your radio, and you can do CW as well. So get on the air on the 3rd, the 10th, and the 24th of August for the SARL HF contest. And then the Lighthouse Weekend is taking place on 16th, 17th of August. So that is when you contact all the lighthouses as well. And then finally, the boot sale, the West Rand boot sale will be on the 30th of August. And whilst you all just got over the 40-meter club contest, the 80-meter club contest will be taking place on the 20th of August. So there's a lot upcoming in August, and then followed by the field day in September, which is taking place on the weekend of the 6th and 7th of September. That is National Field Day. So if you would like to participate in National Field Day, please put your hand up. You can come out for the day, Saturday, you can come out for the weekend, and you can operate radio. Everyone is welcome out there, and that'll be at the Slippy River Caravan Park in Machalis. Back to you then, so I didn't mention the RAE. The RAE is pumping. So Gerrit and Wayne are doing great things with the RAE at the moment, and I think we have, at last count, something like 16 RAE candidates. Excuse me, my voice is going. 16 RAE candidates, which is pretty awesome. And if they're on this morning, maybe they can come back and give you some news there as well, Noel. ZS6STN, ZS6HI.
There we go, Keith. Thanks very much for that. And as always, always good to hear all the news that is happening. And yeah, 60 candidates for RAE, that is actually fantastic. So well done to Gerrit and the team. Okay, so let's start off with the news bulletin for the South African Radio League. So in the news today, Bulletin Amateur Radio Club celebrates its 77th birthday. AMSAT SA Space and Symposium offers a wide range of subjects, even HF predictions, and the AARL board creates the 10-band EXCC. Stay tuned for more information on these and other interesting news items. We begin this bulletin with the news of a silent thief. It is with deep regret that we must announce the key of reinventor ZS6RXY was silenced on Sunday the 20th of July. Rian will especially be remembered for his involvement with the Centurion Poetica Commandos and the CQ Courage at the field stations, and for the radio amateur examination classes presented at Norkaka, so his training facility in Centurion. We extend our sincere condolences to his friends and family. Bulletin Amateur Radio Club celebrates its 77th birthday today. Today, exactly 77 years ago, on the 27th of July 1948, the then Stellenbosch branch of the South African Radio League was founded. Shortly afterwards, the name was changed to Bulletin to make more radio amateurs feel welcome in the towns in the Bulletin. On 25th of May 1996, Bulletin changed its name again, and the current name, namely Bulletin Amateur Radio Club, was born. The complete history of our Bulletin Amateur Radio Club, first 50 years, 1948 to 1998, is available on the website https://bark.org.za, and is a very good reading material. The AMSAT SA Space Symposium offers a wide range of subjects, even ancient predictions. The 2025 AMSAT SA Space Symposium will be held from 10 a.m. to 1600 hours Central African time on Saturday the 2nd of August on the AMSAT SA WebEx platform. The symposium offers a wide range of interesting presentations about the world of satellite communications and space sciences. It also includes a presentation of native radio predictions. Participation in the symposium is free, but registration is required. Register now on the link available on the Israel website. I'm not going to give you the link, but you can go, rather just go and visit the website, www.msatsa.org.za for further information and registration. The full program is available on, of course, www.msatsa.org.za, as well as the August Radio ZS. Here are the highlights for the next Saturday. LEO satellite operations with a limited setup. Automated satellite ground station. The next ESA AMSAT GL GEO satellite proposal by AMSAT SA for Ecolink type operations. HF radio predictions in 2025. The sensor IOCAP application. Sensor space operations. Vital cog in deploying the operating spacecraft globally. 68 years of amateur radio in space. Around the world in 37 days of Circuit to Amateur Radio Club. The evolution of AMSAT in a flight software from Fox to Golf. And AfriCube, where are we? Register now. Registration closes 1800 hours on Friday the 1st of August 2025. The August Radio ZS. The August 2025 issue of Radio ZS will be available for download from the league website from Monday 28th of July. Get the program for the AMSAT SA Space Symposium in this issue. We say, look up and live. Safety tips for antenna installation. Get more information about the HAMSI meteor scatter, QSO party, and read about the SL60 Pico balloons. Derek ZS5 Yankee discusses long-distance EHF, UHF, SSB contacts, while Marty, the ZS6STN talks about her first contest. Then Adele, ZS5APT, is the feedback on the Queen of the Mountains event. And Heather, ZS5 Yankee Hotel, keeps us informed that what the whales are doing. Viv, the ZS6 Victor Delta, explains how to build the RF digital power meter, TPM power meter. John, ZS1 India, reports on the meeting of the ZS Link Network Group, and Alan, ZR6AQ50, takes us into the Drakensberg to activate the Sandton Summit. In the museum column, we look at the Luxembourg effect, and we visit the Cape Huncliffe Lighthouse. There is information about the 2025 Lighthouse Award and more in this issue. Okay, now we move on to the ARL board creates a 10-band EXCC. News from the ARL member bulletin dated 22nd of July. Prior to the board meeting, board committee met on the 17th of July with the following action. The Programs and Service Committee and headquarters staff of the Radio Sports Department on the heels of creating the DXCC Trident Award in January are moving ahead with the creation of another new DXCC award, 10-band DXCC, will recognize those who keep DXCC on all bands from 6 meters to 160 meters, excluding 60 meters. High achievement endorsements can be earned at the 200, 300 and honor roll levels, like the DXCC Trident. The 10-band DXCC Award Challenge participants in the DXCC program to establish station capabilities and operate a vessel for dealing with myriad band conditions, including DXCC across all 10 bands. You are listening to the news bulletin of the South African Radio. In early August, amateur radio frequencies will be active with the C-line and K9 USOs. Okay. International Cat Day, special event station Whiskey 1 Charlie in the United States will be on air from 00 to 23:59 UTC on the 7th and 8th of August. All HF frequencies will be used. CWSSB only. All signs in Europe will be DA0CAT from Germany, YL1CAT from Latvia, and GB9CAT from the United Kingdom. International Cat Day was created in 2002 by the International Fund for Animal Welfare. It's a day to raise awareness of cats and learn about ways to help and protect them. A QSL certificate can be downloaded from QRZ.com. International Dog Day, IDD. National Dog Day in the United States is held on the 26th of every year. Special event stations K2D will be on air. Joined by operators in Europe. The US-based team of camera operators will be operating from 00 to midnight to 23:59 UTC on the 20th to the 26th of August. The tradition was created 21 years ago in 2004. 147 dog years by pet advocate Colleen Page, a pet and family lifestyle expert. August was chosen because it was the month her family adopted their first dog, Shelby, from an animal shelter. International Dog Day station will be used in Hamlog Online. More awards will be available to amateur radio operators making contact with ITV. Okay, let's move on to some club news. Do you remember that this coming Wednesday you have a date? Yes, a date starting at 1900 hours Central African time. This coming Wednesday, the 30th of July, with our special event. And this was all done with peace, but let's move on anyway. So, 30th of July with our special guest, Alistair ZS6STN, who will be living live on Zoom Tuesday, July Power Hour Tech Talk. This month we will be learning and discussing the new, very popular keyboard digital mode, VAR-AC. Reminds me of PSK31. PSK mode. Need a quicker teaser? VAR-AC is one of the new digital modes, chat programs for ham radio that uses highly efficient error-corrected techniques to ensure reliable communication conditions. Also offering faster transfer rates and lower power consumption when compared to many other modes. It is a modern HF point-to-point real-time chatting and emergency communication application for amateur radios that leverage the VARA protocol. We are sure you do not need another incentive to go on this date, but just in case, here we go. The Power Tech Talk is free, and so is VARAC. There you are. No cost, only online collaboration, sharing and learning together. Please join our special guest, Alistair ZS6STN. Okay, there is the upcoming Power Tech Talk and about VARAC and how you can join the over 18,000 amateurs around the world that are already activated fund the VARAC. The Tech Talk will take place on Zoom to enable everyone everywhere to participate in the conversation and see VARAC in action. So grab a pen, so here comes the Zoom details. 1900 CAT on Wednesday, 20th of July. A meeting ID is 891-1944-0458 and the Zoom password is G7 password is 674977. Everyone is welcome, so please spread the word, and if you're not yet done, so diarize the date with our special guest Alistair ZS6STN for the upcoming Power Tech Talk. The Israel Winter QRP contest of 90s is now behind us, except for the publication of the results and statistics, so watch the space. The contest weather and publication conditions were good, which enabled many 40, 20 and even 10 meter QSOs to be made across the country. The contest committee would like to thank all those that participated, irrespective of whether your station was running QRP or QRO. And a special thank you to those who have submitted their logs and photos. Your unique winter contest certificate will shortly be on the way to your inbox. We would like to invite you to provide feedback and or please propose any desired changes that you would like to introduce to the contest for 2026. As the contest committee will shortly be submitting the details of the 2026 contest series to the SRL contest working group for inclusion in the 2026 contest base. Once again, thanks to all those who helped to make this fun a successful event. Okay, just coming to the end of the news bulletin this morning. So, propagation report, 150 years ZS6STN reports that the low solar activity levels are going to continue during the week. There are currently 8 sunspot regions with simple magnetic configurations visible. These are high probability class solar flares, but low probability of M class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the effective sunspot number for the week will be around 86. The 30 to 50 meter bands may provide some new fun. Please visit the website spaceweather.sensor.org.za for further information. Okay, finally a diary of some upcoming events. 28th, 29th of July, the Delta Asteroid Meteor Shower. 3rd of August, Israel HS Boat Contest. 7th and 8th of August, International Cat Day. 9th of August, Women's Day and the Israel YL Cursa Party. 10th of August, Israel HF Israel Contest. 12th August, International News Day. 12th and 13th August, besides Meteor Shower. The 16th of August, the Israel News Cursa Party. And the 17th of August, International Lighthouse Weekend. Okay, so let's move on to our special topic of interest this morning. This is courtesy of Keith. Keith, thank you very much. I was having a look at the whole thing on Voyager, and the Voyager thing is actually very, very close to this. So it was quite interesting. There's some just quick facts about the Voyager and communication, and I was reading. And this is just all the top of my head at the moment, is that it takes 22.5 hours for the communication satellite to broadcast back to Earth. There's a whole lot of stations, stations around the world that big satellite 250 meter dishes or 230 feet dishes that pick up these signals. And if you really look at transmitter 22 watts, and if you look at the inverse square law and the distances, the 22 watts is really, really micro and less than micro watts when it comes to South Africa. So really it's just unbelievable what's out there, what can be done. But anyway, let's move on to the topic of interest today. And this is about New Horizons visited Pluto 10 years ago. This was a hint from it. So planetary scientist Kelsey Singer was an undergraduate in 2006 when a spunky spacecraft launched with an ambitious goal to fly by Pluto. It would take nearly a decade for the New Horizons probe to zoom past its target in the far reaches of the solar system. Oh, that's so far off, Singer thought at the time. 9.5 years to get to Pluto. That's like forever. Now Singer, who's Deputy Principal Investigator of the New Horizons mission, and other scientists are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the spacecraft's historic encounter with the beloved dwarf planet. New Horizons got within 12,500 kilometers of Pluto's surface. The images and other data gathered in the flyby have transformed researchers' understanding of the icy world. We all thought Pluto would be a little bit less interesting than we found it. We thought it would be more cold and dead, says Singer of the Southwest Research Institute in Boulder, Colorado. Since the flyby, we have basically rewritten the textbooks. New Horizons revealed a lively dwarf planet with traveling glaciers, ice volcanoes, and an odd atmosphere and more. As the spacecraft hurtles towards interstellar space, researchers are still analyzing the reaches plumbed from the Pluto and flyby and figure out why and how the distant world is such a fascinating place. Over a decade of advocating for Pluto, starting in the late 1980s, planetary scientist Alan Stern, author of the Southwest Research Institute, and other Pluto enthusiasts fought for the dwarf planet, and still considered a full-blown planet to receive the same treatment as its kin. NASA spacecraft had visited all other planets to study them by that point. In 2001, Stern and his colleagues won a NASA competition to lead a Pluto mission, which took off 5 years later. The Grand Piano-sized New Horizons probe has then traversed more than 5 billion kilometers over the next decade to get to Pluto, reaching its closest point on July the 14th, 2015, so not that long ago. The spacecraft collected mountains of data with 7 instruments, including measurements on the composition of Pluto's atmosphere and detailed images of the dwarf planet and its 5 moons. Past snapshots of the ice-covered rock taken by the Hubble Space Telescope merely showed shadowed blobs on the surface. New Horizons exposed a whole new world. Signs of a geological activity world. The space revealed what is now one of Pluto's most famous features. A heart-shaped region roughly 1,600 kilometers wide. Its western lobe called Sputnik Planitia. A nitrogen glacier atop an ancient impact basin, says the planetary scientist James Tuttle Keys of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Pasadena, California. Sputnik Planetia's location is specially set. It sits on the equator and always faces away from Pluto's largest moon. Let's just start that again, yeah. Sputnik Planetia's location is especially said, sits at the equator and always faces away from Pluto's largest moon, Charon. As the two bodies orbit each other, meaning there is probably something wonky going on and how mass is distributed across the planet. Extra mass might be concentrated below the ice-covered faces. The mass is more likely to be bulging a liquid ocean than solid rock or ice, because that would let Pluto's surface move around freely, ensuring Sputnik Planitia and Charon has never come face to face. It's similar to how a raw egg in shell feels when spun compared to a hard-boiled egg in space. Uses computer simulation to explore the possibility. If an ocean exists on Pluto, other bodies in the rock and iceful Kuiper belt might host oceans too. That's really interesting for understanding habitable environments, where habitable environments might be in the solar system, either today or in the distant past. Other nitrogen ice glaciers on Pluto's surface as well, moving downhill and leaving etched travel paths. His favorite regions, however, are volcanoes of mostly water ice that may have spewed an icy slush relatively. The presence suggests the water ice is mobile on Pluto, and which is difficult to explain given the frigid temperatures of below -200 degrees Celsius, far colder than water freezing points. It's a special feature, not just because it's really unique and we've never seen anything like it elsewhere on the solar system, but because it implies an internal heat that is needed in order to be able to mobilize that material. It's a special feature, not just because it's really unique, and we've never seen anything like it elsewhere in the solar system, but because it implies this internal heat that is needed in order to be able to mobilize that material. Planetary scientist Bill McKinnon is looking into the heat. Specifically, he studies how heat is transported through Sputnik's Planitia crust of nitrogen ice that is several kilometers thick. The surface sports a molten appearance due to warmer material regularly rising and cooler material sinking. We can see how that it is slowly overturning in a convective pattern, like slowly boiling oatmeal on your stove. New horizons team member at the Washington University Institute. Solid nitrogen is soft and malleable, allowing the planetary heating process that typically takes place underground to be on full display. But McKinnon and others are still figuring out nitrogen's ice viscosity and other properties to understand convection on Pluto, which can provide insights into the dwarf planet's geological evolution. A hazy layered atmosphere. The ground isn't the only part of Pluto's host oddities. The atmosphere is a bit bizarre too. It consists mostly of nitrogen, with small amounts of methane and carbon monoxide, all vaporized from the ices on the surface. But when the gases reach high in the atmosphere, sunlight-driven chemical reactions create a solid haze, similar to icy clouds around the dwarf planet, respectively scientists. We are investigating how this haze forms. What is its composition? What are the chemical and physical pathways leading to the formation of the haze, amongst other questions. Okay, sorry about that. We're back again. Okay. Our planned line of research is why the haze splits into multiple layers. Researchers suspect that the layers are caused by waves in the atmosphere. These can stem from several sources, such as wind blowing across the landscape, features or the regular sublimation and condensation of nitrogen on Pluto's surface. However, the haze contributes to Pluto's chilly climate, which Bulletin and his colleagues have figured out how to best simulate. That will widen researchers' understanding of how planetary atmospheres work and the chemical pathways that clouds lead to life on exoplanets. New horizons could face a rocky future. While researchers have spent the past 10 years plundering Pluto's reaches exposed by new horizons, the spacecraft has continued to chug along to the near past. It's now about 9 billion kilometers from Earth and hasn't stopped collecting data, including measuring the stream of charged particles from the sun or solar wind and counting space dust. In 2019, the probe slipped by this Kuiper Belt object called Arrokoth. Its flattened snow-shaped, likely as a result of two bodies colliding, has helped researchers investigate how gas and dust come and accumulate. Mission scientists are now looking for other objects that could get a flyby. In the next few years, though, the New Horizons craft could reach the edge of the sun's domain, entering an area dominated by the influence of other stars. This is a big deal for the heliophysics community because not very many chances you have to cross this interface and learn about the protective bubble that we're in. Only the Voyagers, both launched in 1977, have successfully reached interstellar space, and New Horizons scientific instruments surpass the older spacecraft's capabilities. But New Horizons is one of nearly 20 active missions under threat of shutting down under the Trump administration proposed budget for fiscal year 2026, which includes drastic cuts to NASA scientific missions. These missions are 20-year endeavors, decades long to get going and have them up there. The planetary science runs Bank School of the University of Colorado. Boulder, who previously led a New Horizons research team, if you turn them off, you can't get them back. They are crucial not only for scientific discovery, but also for training for the next generations of scientists, you know. For instance, dozens of the new Boulder students have participated in designing Boulder operations and analyzing data from the dust counter, providing research experience. Singer believes New Horizons is the worthwhile thing to future, the bright future. All of our instruments in the spacecraft are perfectly healthy. We are only halfway through the scientific lifetime. Who knows what next Horizons could uncover if the solar system gets to be done in the next decade. Well, there we go. It's very interesting at the end of the day to see what is out there. And just seems to be traveling. Traveling all the time. As I said, with the voice, it's mind-blowing that still going there. Where we still get that little voice to what it's going to do. Anyway, that's the news for this for today. Okay, no further calling, so thank you to everyone that out there listening this morning. Do apologize for the audio, and yeah, so I'm just remember exactly where my settings are, and then it'll be a lot better next time around. So thank you to everyone listening. We trust you've enjoyed the bulletin today. Feel free to give comments or constructive criticism. Thank you for the stations that assisted with relays, of course, yours, Paulie, and to those who've called in, Keith, thank you very much for all the club news and that, which is much appreciated. Join us again next Sunday at 8:45 Central African time for a regular bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. That brings us to the close of the weekly club bulletin for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN. ZS6STN was operated by ZS6 Delta X-Ray, and so thank you for